Hello everyone and welcome back in a new episode of our Minecraft series. So, we are starting today's episode in this underground cave, which is not actually a cave. If you haven't watched the last episode, you should watch it because we dug out this hole in the last episode. This is the bottommost part of our mob farm, of our brand new mob farm, which I've finished, at least for what concerns the spawning part of camera. It was a hassle. But I'll have to still work it off camera on the collection system. For the time being, we have this temporary thingy, so basically items do drop down from up here, and they are funneled inside these chests. As you can see, what I have been building outside, the farm has been producing. Very good. And I've also already hooked it up to our home base with some water elevators. And here we come to today's episode. Because the farm is actually located on, this elevator in particular is actually located here near our old forge. And this brings us to today's episode, to today's program, which is going to relocate the actual forge. And I already have an idea for where to place it. Basically, I wanted to snuck it into this little patch of terrain on this side here. Yeah, between here, this water stream, and basically the entire wall over on this side. So here on this little plateau, I am planning on building the actual forge. I want to build a couple of houses, nice looking houses, much like the thatched one we have over there. And, move down here the villagers. And last but not least, obviously, modify the place up above in order to fit the new elevator nicely within our own castle. So this is the episode, the program for today's episode. I know it may not look much given the content of the last few episodes. It has always been a very various different big builds. You can see over there we have the covered tower, not completed because it still is way too barren for my taste. I plan on adding some additional features on the sides. But for what concerns the functionality of the farm itself, it is functioning. Though I must admit that the farm is not perfect, because I should have mentioned it in the last episode, but spiders do climb onto the walls, onto the cover, the inner side of the cover, and get stuck on the top, underneath the slab ceiling. This is nothing, I can't do nothing about it. We would require to just have an open farm, but that would be way too unsightly. So instead, we'll just make do with what we can, and optionally, we can just use one of the spawners. As a matter of fact, I do have one of the spawners mentioned. I have a sign on the signboard for one of the many spider spawners to be converted into a spider farm. That way we'll be able also to get our hands on a nice spider eye farm, though we do not need that so badly since we haven't been tinkering with villagers all that much. Okay, so my monologue aside, let's get straight on with the building by starting with removing actually and clearing out the space for the new forge, and maybe a little bit of terraforming. First of all, we start off with some later clearing. Getting the design right wasn't that easy. You can see that at the beginning I struggled with flatten out the area, and then choosing the right shape was not a given. So you can see me that I'm trying here some various different things. In the end, I end up using our classical palette, and you can see this weird sort of lemon shape. This is going to be called the lemon hole or the lemon forge. You do you. But once we get the form right, we start by raising slowly the walls with our usual castle palette of grays. After which, I've chosen to just top off the walls with this nice layer of smooth stone, just to change up a little bit things. And then we move on with the roof. The roof, in this time, I'm trying to use some techniques to make it a little bit more organic. You can see me using slabs, using stairs, and planks, mixing it up and making this all, let's say, how can I put it, older, shaky, way, so wobbly, sort of a style. This alternation of slabs and stairs gives off this much organic feeling, like the building is old, well, at least the roof is old. And it is something that I'm going to start using more and more in our newer builds. So that aside, you can see that I'm mostly done. Let's get back to the video and let's continue on with the next part. Okay, so well, you should have seen the time lapse, so I won't just tell you anything about our lemon. Although the only thing, well, the only remark I have is I have to a little polish the inside. The outside is quite nice, not the most finished, the most. Yeah, there are still a couple of details I can and I will probably add to the roof to make it a little bit more interesting to the eye. Basically some like stripped logs or whatever. We don't just to change up a little bit the texture rather than the shape, because the shape we got it right and we got it nice. It's a very organic look. Maybe add even some spruce patterns as a detail, but the roof we won't be seeing much the top side of the roof. Instead, we will be seeing the inside, which is going to require major work onto it. Since we want to move in the forge down here, we will have to introduce actually a forge. And then, last but not least, we'll have to move also the villagers. But before even starting working on all of that, we have a more pressing matter at our hands, which is, well, let's just switch over to the time lapse while I tell you about it. So basically what I wanted to do was to add some sort of structure for sustaining the very big overhang on which the Enchanted Towers is located. And off camera, I had to go through the Nether to the ancient city, and I told myself, why not copy the actual design that it is used in the ancient city, and obviously tweaking it a little bit to fit our higher standards of styling. And so this column, this deep slate column was born. You can see me building it from the top down. This is because I tried to copy as much as possible the actual style used in the ancient city. So basically I had to first start by the topmost part using normal dip slate, and then move downwards with these two stripes, one of just polished dip slate and the other one with a mixture of dip slate tiles, cracked versions, and the chiseled one, which fit nicely together. And now it seems that we have stolen a column from the ancient city and inserted it into our castle, and it does quite work. It does its work. It looks nice and looks like it's upholding the actual overhang. Let's get back to the video. Welcome back. You caught me in the process of, well, actually moving out our our smiths to the new forge. So here we have the weaponsmith, which is the last of the four smiths we had in our previous little forge. I already went ahead and traded quite a bit with them just to have some safety stock in the terrible, terrible case in which these villagers would perish. I sure hope not, but it's not excluded as a thing that may happen. So better being safe than sorry. So let's move out our last villager, and in the meantime I'm just also going to remove here the rail. Okay, the villager already made its way over. You can already start to see some changes. Like here, for example, I've made the little waterfall a little bit nicer, and we have the column, which was the second part of my time lapse. A stolen column from the ancient city, and here we have the forge. Give me a second. I want to just get rid of all the rails first. You can go ahead and go to bed, and I'll add this over on this side, let's say, yes, like this, so that the villagers do evenly distribute when working. So here is the forge. What do you think? Well, I feel it's quite nice. I still have to add in a lot of details. I plan on adding oh, hello, the guards. I plan on adding some stones, like, well, using buttons, some little pebble stones, some pebbles around the entire forge. I'll also have to work on this front here. I want to make a nicer path, a nicer square. Put up here a couple of amount of materials. But for what concerns the, well, you are stuck, huh? Silly, very silly. Okay. What I was saying? Oh yeah. Well, for what concerns the most part, the main part. Well, here we have the big forge with all the fire. I wanted to add in some fire, but being the roof made of wood, I don't think it's recommendable. It's because the fire has a very large fire spread area, so I didn't want to risk getting the roof burnt down because it was a little bit of a pain to do. I want to add also a couple of additional details on the ceiling because right now it's too plain for my taste. And over here you can see we have a little lava pool. I still have to add in a couple of additional buckets, but I want to add them in. And I also have to polish a little bit this little inner garden, add some melons on this wall. But the biggest part is done. The main details are there, and I'm very happy with it. Turned out even better than I had originally thought. And here we have the sleeping quarters for the villagers. They are a little bit plain. Maybe I'll add in some parts, some decorations. Well, I have an anvil here that I can put in. I obviously have also to add in some additional workstation here and there, some anvils, some decoration, barrels, and who knows what else. Yes, there are still a lot of things to be done, but the main part of the actual structure is done and is very presentable. I'm once more very happy with it. And now we have a proper castle forge, which is very important. Being our kingdom, a very big castle, it's only right that we also have a forge that can match the size of our castle. So, let's get back up to the signboard and conclude today's episode. Alright, Also, before we conclude the episode, I have a very important announcement to make. The stair arrived to the bottom of the world. I still didn't place that water down below, but I can show you by using our lift, our elevator, water elevator. So here we have our place, and in here we have the staircase. And you can see that it goes a lot of way up. And this is all in preparation for an achievement that we have to achieve, which is throwing ourselves from the top of the world to the bottom. So we have this pathway down. We'll just have to open up the topmost part of the ceiling, and then just go out to the topmost part of the world and throw ourselves down. It's going to be a very risky thing, but what don't you do for achievements? It is a new moon night, and the moon is setting and the sun is rising, and we are concluding our episode. So, in today's episode, we completed a new forge, which is reductive to just give it a single side because it was a very large project. And that's it. Yes. Well, that's it. It's a little bit reductive again. I want to add in an armory. Now that we have a proper forge, we will have to build also a proper armory. In the next episode, we will be going on an exploration session. I have already chosen, and I want to go finding some corals. I want to gather corals. So I managed to find the old coordinates. So what my plan is to just travel through the Nether, and then just create a portal on the coordinates of the coral reef, and use that to to just go over there and harvest some corals. So that way we'll be able to get our hands on some much needed decoration blocks. Okay, the sun has risen, and I want to thank you for following until this moment. Leave a like if you enjoyed today's episode, and subscribe if you wish to see more like them. And I will be waiting for you, as always, in the next episode. Bye bye!